Hello and welcome to the new episode in my quest to rebuild a big box PC game collection from scratch. You can find the first two episodes in my channel to see how this collection is progressing. I will update every month with a new video with the best pickups of the previous calendar month. The focus will be on the best 3 to 5 items, and I will also have the unboxing of each along with a total collection update at the end of each video. You can find a lot of content about adventure games in my channel, like the full history videos about Space Quest, King's Quest, Gabriel Knight, Leisure Suit Larry, Loom, Grim Fandango, and many more. You can also find a 2-hour documentary on the history of the genre with the rise and fall of the adventure games. If you like the content of my channel, please consider supporting it by subscribing and turning on the notifications for it. You can also consider supporting me by becoming a member of my YouTube channel. There is one membership tier and you will have a lot of benefits like exclusive updates on upcoming videos, you get to watch each new video earlier, you get to decide the topic of upcoming videos, and also member exclusive giveaways that will follow. Now let's continue with the third episode of this series with the pickups of June of 2022. We have some great finds this month, as you will see, and one of them is still sealed and we will open it for the first time after 25 years of release. We begin with Simon the Sorcerer 2. I had the unboxing of the first Simon the Sorcerer game in my previous episode, and it is great to have the sequel so that we can have a look at it now and unbox it. I love this series and I have just completed the full retrospective for it. You will find it in my channel in a few days. Now, as for the item, this is the big box PC release of the second Simon the Sorcerer game. On the side, you can find some nice in-game screenshots, and on the other side you can find the game's system requirements. On the back there is a brief summary of the story along with a few words on the characters. The main character, Simon, was inspired mostly by the Discworld series of books by Terry Pratchett and Monkey Island's protagonist Guybrush Threepwood. As was the case with the first game, again this release is a bit barebone for the time. You will find the game's manual, the CD-ROM, the hintbook mail order form, and a leaflet. Of course, there is an older floppy disk version of it, but the CD-ROM offers full voice support. As you can see, the CD-ROM has a small smudge in the front of it, but the important thing is that it is in a very good condition with no visible scratches or issues. The manual, on the other hand, is better than that of the first game, which looked like a photocopy. However, this is printed like a CD-ROM sleeve, and I wonder if the actual CD-ROM came in a jewel case and not in an envelope. Let me know in the comment section if you have it complete and you know how the CD-ROM was packaged initially. The manual contains the installation instructions, the credits of the game, and a detailed explanation of the user interface. Moving on, this is the official hintbook mail order form. As discussed in my previous video, the sales of hintbooks were big business for adventure game developers back then, as they provided a good source of post-release income. Finally, this is a leaflet for other adventures of titles like the first Simon the Sorcerer game, the Simon the Sorcerer Pinball, and the Simon the Sorcerer Puzzle Pack. The success of the franchise led the company to try to capitalize on Simon by releasing all sorts of spin-off games. What is interesting also is that on the back it has an ad for their third Simon adventure game, Simon the Sorcerer 3D. Unfortunately, that was an early 3D game, and as you know, those games haven't aged that well. I tried to play it while researching the retrospective and I didn't enjoy it. I am mostly a 2D hand-drawn visual fan. Now let's put all those back and move to our next game. Here we have another Sierra Collection series. This time it is the Police Quest collection that contains the first 5 games of the series. The games that are actually adventure games, because with SWAT 2 the franchise took a more tactical shooter direction. I also have the full retrospective of that series in my channel if you want to have a look and learn everything about the Police Quest adventure games. I personally liked the first 3, those that revolved around Sonny Bones, and they were produced by Jim Walsh. Daryl Gates, who took over the series after Walsh left Sierra, took it in a different direction that was not to my liking. This is Daryl Gates' photo here, since this is released after Walsh left, which I believe was not a very pleasant departure for both sides. Still though, this is an excellent collection for anyone who wants to have all 5 Police Quest games up until Police Quest SWAT. Now let's open it to see what is inside. First, we have that big CD-ROM jewel case that contains 5 CD-ROMs with all the games in their enhanced visual edition with full voice support. You also get this nice insert that serves as the game's instruction manual. In it, we have the introduction by Daryl Gates, who was the ex-chief of LAPD. Then we have the installation guide for the games and Sierra's helpline. Boy, those lines were a nice source of income back in the pre-internet days. Next, we have Sierra's game catalog for 1998 and 1999, and as you can see, it also has the Blizzard logo. That was because during that time and after multiple changes in management, Sierra was picked up by Activision Blizzard. Inside we have a lot of information for some of Sierra's other products like Gabriel Knight 3, King's Quest Mask of Eternity, and Quest for Glory Dragonfire. All those 3 games are also 3D adventures, and to me at least, each one is the worst of its respective franchise. Some more Sierra games and especially sports and flight emulators, and finally we get to the Blizzard section of the catalog with a StarCraft advertisement and one for Diablo 2. Finally, we have a mail order form for some software applications of the time which no one remembers today. Nice packaging overall and an excellent bundle to get all the 5 Police Quest adventure games. Our third game for this month is another Sierra title. This is Freddy Farkas' Frontier Pharmacist, a humorous adventure set in the Wild West. That game was actually developed by Al Law, the person behind a lot of Sierra's franchises, with the most notable being my beloved Leisure Suit Larry series. Freddy Farkas was developed by Law and Josh Mandel, who had also collaborated in a lot of adventure franchises like Space Quest. On the back of the box you can see them both in typical Al Law style, where they had put their faces on some cartoon characters. I loved this game back in the day. It had a very streamlined point-and-click interface and lovely colorful hand-drawn VGA graphics. This version also supports EGA, but the best looking option is to go with the VGA graphics. Now let's open it. This is the floppy disk version, so ignore the CD-ROM you see here. I have the game in CD-ROM also and thought that it would be nice to store the CD-ROM jewel case inside the big box floppy version. Putting that aside, here comes another bonus, as in the case of King's Quest that we had unboxed in our previous episodes. This again contains the official hintbook, which originally was sold separately. These are the floppy disks of the game. 6 3.5-inch floppies contain Freddy Farkas' Frontier Pharmacist. Now time for the Modern Day Book of Health and Hygiene, a booklet that was part of the original game's release. Inside it had a lot of information on medicine during the time the game takes place, with a lot of recipes for remedies and drugs. This book also served as the game's copy protection, as in the case of the floppy disk release there was a series of questions that you needed to answer upon launching the game, and to do so you had to refer to the Modern Day Book of Health and Hygiene. Sierra had some of the best releases back then, and every game had a lot of extras in its package. Infocom had even more though, but this is another story. Now time to have a look at this nice extra we got again. The official hintbook is again pocket sized, so that you could have it next to you on your desk while playing the game. It has a very detailed walkthrough, and this one also has the original handwritten notes of the person who owned it initially. I love that. It is always interesting to see how gamers back then used those hintbooks to progress the game and kept notes. We have a leaflet and mail order form for some soft disk software here, and finally the game's technical instruction manual. I think that this is generic and refers to multiple games that utilize this particular version of Sierra's game engine. This is a Sierra Creative Interpreter game, and the icons and options you see here are more or less the same across SCI games. Excellent package. I always love to unbox those fat Sierra releases. The final item for this episode is a sealed one. This is the first Shivers game, and it came in its original shrink wrap as it was released almost 25 years ago. It has a small cut here that I accidentally did when opening the parcel, but no worries, we are still going to open it anyway, so no harm done. Shivers was a horror point-and-click game resembling the massively popular Seventh Guest that preceded it a couple of years. Seventh Guest was developed by Trilobite and spawned its own sub-genre, that of the 3D puzzle adventure games that spawned Shivers and other later popular franchises like Myst. Again, you can find the full retrospective of Shivers series in my channel. There is a sequel titled Shivers 2 Harvest of Souls. Sivers came out in CD-ROM, and this is what we are going to find inside the package. First, we have a form to register your Sierra product and take part in a giveaway for $1,000 worth of software. Next, we have a big, nice instruction manual. Look at that, that's a lot of pages. On the back, we have the ad for the sequel of this game, The Harvest of Souls. Inside, we have the prologue that informs the player of the events that happened before the beginning of the game. Sivers takes place inside Dr. Whittlenot's Museum of the Strange and the Unusual, and it is your task to collect some spirits and find out what happened to Dr. Whittlenot. It also has some system requirements and installation guides. It explains the gamer's user interface. This is a puzzle adventure game, so expect a lot of mouse clicking. What is also interesting is that it has the game's walkthrough. I don't know if that is the full walkthrough or just some first puzzle to help the player get acquainted with the game, but I believe that is the case. Finally, it has some information on the development of the game. I really love those, as it has a lot of information of how the industry worked back then. Here's another photo, this time with the actors that performed on a green screen. A lot of full motion video in both Sivers 1 and 2. Now let's have a look at the jewel case that contains the game's CD-ROM. It also has some 25-year-old dust here, as you can see. Not a lot of stuff here, just a nice clean CD-ROM that has never been used and a few installation guides for Windows 3.1 and Windows 95. Excellent addition to my collection. We are also going to unbox the sequel Harvest of Souls, as this game is on its way to my collection also. I love to open those retro sealed big box PC games. That was all for our third episode in our Big Box PC Collection series. In this video we had Simon the Sorcerer 2, Police Quest Collection and Freddy Farkas that I got from some local collectors, and also a sealed Sivers game that I got from a Facebook group on Big Box PC Collecting. The collection after 3 months includes 11 games. We are going strong, but there is a long way ahead of us. Do not forget to watch my many retrospectives on iconic franchises like Loom, King's Quest, Space Quest, Gabriel Knight and more. You can also find my 2-hour documentary on the rise and fall of the genre. If you like the content of my channel, please consider supporting it by subscribing and turning on the notifications for it to know when a new video is up. You can also consider supporting me by becoming a member of my YouTube channel. There is one membership tier and you will have a lot of benefits like exclusive updates on upcoming videos, you get to watch each new video earlier, you get to decide the topic of upcoming videos, and also member exclusive giveaways that will follow. We will have the next episode soon. Thank you all for watching.